Welcome to the My Sister's Place virtual fall luncheon. My name is Kim McNair, and I am the Director of Community Education and Organizing at My Sister's Place, and it is my distinct honor to welcome you to our luncheon today and to be your host. The theme of this year's luncheon is Journey, New Pathways to Safety and Hope. Every time a client calls our hotline, they talk to a community educator, they make an appointment with a counselor or a member of our legal staff, that client is taking the first steps in their new journey. And we are walking alongside them, providing the right resources for them. Now, how we walk alongside our clients, the collaboration across departments within the agency, the collaboration with our community partners, the innovative way that we have responded to COVID and the way we continue to provide services for our clients, the way that we center our clients' voices in all of our work, the way that we recognize and address the trauma they've experienced and the oppressions that they face every single day. All of these are grounded in our guiding principles. Now, joining us today, along with our staff, are Jody Prysock and Lynn Martirano, our Asl Interpreters. In just a few moments, you'll hear from staff who will share how MSP has provided hope and change in our clients' lives. You'll hear from our partners, the New York Giants, and how they're supporting local youth athletics. And you will also hear from a survivor who will tell you in her own words how MSP has helped her in her journey. Now, we could talk to you all day about our clients, but you will hear directly from her, and you'll be able to witness the beauty of the human spirit when you hear her talk about her journey to self-love. First, let's begin with agency updates and highlights from Karen Cheeks Lomax, our Chief Executive Officer, Candice Bouvard, Director of Family Services, and Christina Tanzola, Director of our Human Trafficking Program.
So this has been a year, but one of the most important things is we wouldn't be here without you. So many of you that are here today have been supporters of My Sister's Place for so many years. We are so grateful for that. And we are grateful that you stand by survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking. And this year we have just learned so much. And I'm here with my colleagues, Christina and Candice, who are going to talk about things as we wouldn't be here that they've been doing on the ground during what has been this extraordinary pandemic and during a time when most of us, many of us that are on this webinar questioned, how are we going to move forward? How are we going to make it? And I think that that has been true for not only our clients, for you, certainly our staff. So why don't we just start out for a moment and we can chat with Candice. And Candice, talk to us about some of what your staff and you have been seeing with respect to the clients that we serve.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate everything you just mentioned. It has been an extraordinary time here at My Sister's Place. And our clients are so resilient and have shown such strength doing something that none of us were prepared for. Some of the challenges that they have faced during this time are housing, legal, financial, health, and navigating homeschooling. Many of us have never had to do that before. And many of our clients are so resilient and have an abuser. Domestic violence and COVID have combined to make the survivors' lives even harder. And abusers have taken this opportunity to further intimidate clients, isolate clients, control access to PPE, challenge custody, and essentially make it almost impossible to reach out to us. Here at MSP, we have really responded in a way to meet the clients where they are. We have implemented several platforms that allow for clients to connect with us. One of the first ones being we implemented telehealth services. This is particularly helpful for our clients that are missing that face-to-face connection or, the interaction with people day to day. We also have implemented virtual support groups for our adult and children clients. And we continue to provide phone counseling for those that feel that is a necessary platform to connect with them. And of course, we have our virtual support groups, which are hit. Our 24-hour hotline, which remains open day or night, evening. It allows for the client to connect with us to provide resources, referrals, and shelter placement. And our counselors are so amazing and have really been proactive to ensure the safety of our clients. And we know that is important now more than ever. They have really been talking to clients about safety planning around technology. What's the best platform to use? What's the best time to contact you? And how will I know if it is an unsafe time? They've created code words, slogans, just anything that will allow me to know, okay, maybe I need to contact them at a different time or they will reach out to us. We've also been mindful that because everything has been shut down, clients still have essential needs. They still need toiletries, they still need diapers, and we ensure that they receive these items. And overall, just being a support to them. That's very important. The current situation is so difficult and so challenging for everyone. We want to ensure they have everything they need. And although the situation has been challenging at my sister's place, we have truly felt that this allowed us to be creative, to expand our services, to think outside of the box. And we will utilize these things moving forward beyond COVID. And I know my colleague Christina can elaborate on some of the things that she's seeing and experiencing.
Thank you so much, Candace. I think what you've done is you've helped to really demonstrate how we've expanded our services at a time when most people are thinking that, services have been exhausted or we're restricting those services. And I so appreciate, and this has been the motto of My Sister's Place for ever since the beginning, that we look at barriers and we look beyond them. And in this case, we're looking at safety. We're looking at making sure that people have access to us. And we're also looking at technology, which, as we all know, we had to pivot very quickly to figure out how to communicate and how to access. So I think we've done a really, really good job of supporting people where they are. Christina, who'll be speaking shortly, will talk about some of the apps that we've created for our clients, how they can, have access to the legal department, and some of the other really innovative things that we're doing to ensure that we meet those needs. So Christina, can you share a bit of what's happening in the Center for Legal Services, specifically human trafficking?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you,
you.
Karen, and thank you, Candace. I completely agree with both of you. It's been so great working as a collaborative team to get the services that our clients need. Teamwork has been important now more than ever to make sure that we are there for our clients and there for each other. These have definitely been difficult times. As Karen mentioned, our offices had closures. Everybody started to work from home beginning around March and April. And things seemed quiet. Hotline calls were down. People were unable to come to offices to meet with their counselors, with their case managers, with their attorneys. But we all knew that this work doesn't stop. This work didn't stop, that it continued on. Trafficking survivors were still being trafficked, and now they were unable to get out and find the resources that they need. Those who were in abusive relationships and intimate partner violence were still in their homes and unable to have that time to get out for that much needed moment to get resources and to find safety. So it's been difficult. On top of the abuse and the exploitation, a lot of our clients were facing even more challenges. Some of our clients were losing their jobs. They had to learn how to teach their children, some in languages that they were not familiar with. Some had to work within very confined spaces that were very, very difficult to manage. And some clients and their family members had contracted the virus themselves. So this was definitely a challenge every way you would kind of look at it. And so those even who needed legal services, the courts were closed, and it was very difficult to get that, mobility for our clients to get what they needed in terms of legal recourse. Orders of protections needed to be extended. Child custody cases were difficult to manage when distancing was still in place. Immigration, a lot of applications were backed up, and it was very difficult to find out the status of where people were with regards to their immigration relief. But as challenging as those, situations were, it was crucial that we, as a staff, let our clients know how important it was that we were there for them. So we had to find different ways. As Candace and Karen mentioned, we had to get creative. We had to find methods in which we could reach out to our clients virtually, and having them understand that we are still here to connect with them. Excuse me, we had to find new services, as Karen mentioned, apps to learn how to download documentation to sign. We had to learn how to have clients connect with us virtually. Excuse me. Virtually and by face-to-face, so that they could still see our faces and know that we were here. We, as a trafficking team, knew we had to provide benefits and services for our clients. So we would do things such as sending e-gift cards, teaching clients how to have emails so that they could get those gift cards directly. Having clients learn how to make virtual payments, something that was new to many of our clients. So it's definitely a learning space for not just clients, but for staff as well. But we did it, with full compassion and wanting to do as much as we could. Our legal team found ways to be creative, how to teach clients how to download PDFs so that documentation could be officially signed. And through this creativity, we had some successes. Clients were able to still receive their green cards and their work authorizations, which was such a relief for so many people. And on top of that, the most important thing was that we connected with our clients for emotional support. As we all know, during this time, human connection has been very, very important. I know Candace and her team has continued to provide that support through the clients for just those needs. Sometimes it was just to speak about what was going on, the challenging times that have occurred. Karen reaching out to everyone in our meetings and making sure that everyone was okay. That was all important to the work that we did. And so, if somebody didn't have access to something, computer or maybe even a cell phone, our staff would try to find ways to connect either by email or sometimes text or just whatever it took to reach out to others. And our clients have truly been amazing. Our clients have been resilient, they've been brave, they've been incredible members of our community, great parents, siblings, and they continue to move forward. And so we know how important it is to stand up and make sure that we are advocating for our clients as best as possible now and as the future continues. So we look forward to the work we continue to do, and we thank you for being here and listening to us and moving forward.
Well, Christina and Candace, thank you so much for the details, sharing those details that I know so many of us want to hear. One of the things that COVID exposed for us is that everyone was not on equal footing. And I think Absolutely. What you talked about, each of you, to really help kind of balance the scale, if you will, for people who didn't have access to technology, the creativity that came out of that. And it's one of the things that my sister's place has spent probably over close to a decade looking at systemic racism and oppression and how it impacts communities of color and how it impacts our clients, right? And so I'm so proud of each of you and all of the work that you and your teams have been doing to really provide better access to services and referrals so that people can live decently and respectfully and with dignity. And so as I hear you talk about these new pathways that we have forged, it just really makes me so proud and so excited about what our next steps are. Pathways that are confidential, pathways that include safety and safety planning, and pathways that allow people access to basic needs that they have. And so today, as we are celebrating our fall luncheon and all that we do, and we can't do it without so many of you that are here with us today. We cannot do it. You have stood by us for over 45 years. We thank you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so very much for your time. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
So as you heard, the challenges that our clients face have taken on new forms. COVID has increased isolation. People who use violence are using different tactics. The children are at home. So the way that we provide services to our clients also has to take on new forms. We're providing virtual support. We're teaching clients how to use technology they've never used before. And as Karen and Candace and Christina will all agree, the work does not stop. In just one moment, we're going to hear from Brintha Jayalingam, Senior Director of Prevention Services, Prevention Programs, Lamar Powell, Director of Residential Services, and Kim Barrigan, Domestic Violence Counselor. And they're going to talk to us about some of the ways that MSP works with youth. But first, here is an exciting message about a partnership that we have with the New York Giants, who are helping us work with student athletes in Westchester.
Hi everyone, I'm Allie Stangaby, and on behalf of the entire New York Giants organization, I want to thank my Sister's Place for their dedication and determination. As long-standing partners, we are proud to support their mission through our Giant Steps Fellowship, which engages student athletes across Westchester County, promoting healthy relationships and leadership on and off the field. Through our collaboration, we have had the privilege to get to know the Mount Vernon School District and work with Coach Murray and the Knights. While football at the high school is currently on pause, we are hopeful that a safe return to the game will be happening this spring. In anticipation, it is a pleasure to present to Coach Murray a $10,000 equipment donation to the team. From our team to yours, stay strong, and we will see you soon.
It's Coach Mark Murray, head coach of Mount Vernon High School. Just want to thank the New York Giants for your generous donation. Appreciate you. Good luck on the rest of your season.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you today. And Lamar and Kim, I'm so excited to have this conversation with both of you. I wanted to share, hey.
Bye.
I wanted to share a little bit about my program at my sister's place, but also to hear from both of you about how the agency is serving the youth in Westchester County. And in different areas, different aspects. But first, I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing in the Domestic Violence and Education and Prevention Program. So DVAP, as we'd like to call it, we have really changed our approach to the school-based healthy relationships workshops that we offer. So we've pivoted to the remote hybrid model that a lot of schools are in right now. We're working very closely with the teachers. We know that many teachers are overwhelmed and are working really hard to make sure that students' needs are met. And so we're just remaining flexible. We are ready to jump into a Google Classroom. We're ready to do a Zoom workshop. Really, whatever is needed, we're here for that. And our approach, I think even pre-pandemic, has always been a trauma-informed approach. It's always been working within a framework of positive youth development, which really focuses on centering youth voices, making sure they have a safe space to share and to ask questions around relationships, around dating, what's healthy, what are red flags. These are all the things that we cover still in our virtual workshops. And we know, students have shared with us, we know that they are really going through a lot. They miss seeing their friends in person, right? They're experiencing screen fatigue like a lot of us are experiencing. They know that there has to be, in front of a laptop or a tablet for many hours a day. And so we're really just being there to try to support them in whatever way we can through our workshops. And Lamar, I know you all in Shelter who've been rock stars through all of this have also been seeing this too, right? In Shelter with the kids that need to get online for their classes.
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. The challenge really happened back in March when the schools first shut down. It was just different because there was no plan or blueprint on how to manage the young people in the shelter. The schools didn't really have a blueprint. So, these young people were just off their schedule. Their sleeping patterns were off, and we had to get tablets, like you said, to do the virtual thing once the school got back up and running. But it's funny when you're working with children, they don't really understand these tablets is for school now, and it's not to get and play a game. So it was a little different, trying to manage the tablets to say you're going to school now. You're not actually getting on one of the video games. So you probably witnessed that a little bit. And I know Kim has, doing the virtual thing with the tablets, and you're at home and not playing games, you're at school.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been a huge shift for them. And I think keeping all of that in mind, our team, Vivian and Sala, who are amazing educators, have been really emphasizing the healthy aspects of relationships, the healthy aspects of, being with people, interacting with people, so that they can really start to see and remember and understand what they deserve in a relationship and what their rights are as a dating partner, and how to communicate with each other in a healthy way that brings about some openness and some comfort in that communication.
Yeah, I totally agree, Brenda. Teaching the kids the language to effectively communicate how they're feeling in a healthy way is so important.
Exactly. And we've been thinking about how or what it means for kids to interact online with each other more than ever, and how they're forming relationships online. And, all of our core healthy relationship aspects still apply here, right? We're still emphasizing with our students respect, equality, safety. We're still making sure that that's the kind of foundation to any relationship that they have, including, who's in their home, who they see in school, who they see out in the community, or who they're choosing to be in a relationship with. And so, Kim, I know that you've been really supporting our youth throughout all of this, and I remember seeing how, the big smiles on their faces when they would come into the office to meet with you, several months ago. And so tell me more about how you've been doing this work and how the kids are doing.
Yeah, definitely. So remote services are very different. In-person sessions are already difficult for children, for them to feel comfortable and for them to trust a stranger and be vulnerable with a stranger. Yes. And talk about their emotions. And maybe they've never even talked about their emotions before. That alone is difficult. So navigating the telehealth platform has required a lot of creativity to engage the children. Mm-hmm. I have a 4-year-old client who had never been exposed to video chat or Zoom. He isn't in school yet, so he had no exposure to the video chat platforms. So when we met, he was crying, he didn't want to talk to me, he was very uncomfortable, and he didn't want to engage with me. So I suggested that he go outside. This day was sunny, it was warm, it was beautiful. So I was like, how about you go outside and we talk there? So he took his phone outside. We started talking. He started showing me the flowers, identifying the colors. You could tell that his mood just shifted instantly. He was so happy. He was comfortable. And after this, he started sharing his experiences and feelings around domestic violence. And like this session, all of my other sessions require a lot of creativity, patience, and progressive pedagogy. During this time, also, children are more anxious than before, and they have less access to resources of support. And parents are trying to help manage with schooling in the context of domestic violence. An example of this is one of my clients who has a son. He received a scholarship to attend college as a first-generation student with a lot of potential. And mom's partner would take the kids' school supplies and dispose of them.
That is so sad.
I know. It's absurd. They're all
unbelievable,
right? They're already facing so many challenges.
Yeah.
And for them to take away pencils, pens, notebooks, it's really sad. So I not only provide counseling, but I also collaborate with community partners to obtain supplies and obtain other necessities that families in similar situations need. This is important because children feel like they're not alone, they feel confident, they feel more in control, and it makes them feel safe, and this way they can thrive. I think that making them feel this sense of control and safety is especially important during COVID. All of our programs have been doing so much hard work. The education program, family services, shelter. Lamar, you've been holding it down in shelter. So
I've been trying.
You've been holding it down. Tell us about that.
Thing about shelter is 24/7, 365 days, holidays, snowing, and now we can add COVID to that list. So, you have families that's already in there, you have children. And the thing with the young people, we're telling everybody to wear a mask. And the young people, they don't even know why they're in shelter. Some of them being so young, why did I leave my house? And now they're saying, why do I have to wear a mask? I don't want to wear a mask. And it's kind of funny and cute at the same time, but it's like, wear your mask, So, that's different. We had to get creative. We added art therapy, dancing sessions so the young people could dance because they couldn't go outside because of the shutdown. And they try to get me to dance. I'd rather have y'all do that. But, so the unique thing about it is that I could say with our shelter, here at MSP is we never stopped taking families. During this pandemic, a lot of the shelters, throughout the region and the country, they stopped. They shut it down. They weren't taking in new families or new residents.
Right.
We didn't do that, So, it's just a testament to the shelter, the agency. We're always here. We're always around.
Yeah.
And we took, a mom with with a mom with 3 children, in the middle of the pandemic. And imminent danger is imminent danger, So, that's the unique thing. Them children had to get away from an abusive, household.
Yeah.
So, and the young people are resilient. So it has been different. It definitely has been different, but it's been good too. We learn it from the children. They learn it from us. There's some resilient young ones that's out there. It really is.
What's so inspiring to me is how everybody continues to support and service our clients regardless of situations, regardless of COVID. And that's very inspiring.
Yeah, and I think we've been bouncing off a lot, agency-wide with the departments, because we can't even go and, see each other in person. So it's like a pass-off. It's like a nice handoff. Brenda, here's a young person, this young person, this parent, Kim. So we're just like passing it off. And our communication, I think, has gotten much tighter as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can see it.
Definitely. No, it's wonderful to hear that, Lamar, how the families have been doing, how the children have been resilient, and Kim as well, all the creative ways you've been there to reach out and support through the screen as best as possible. And it's really commendable and incredible. So thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
both.
thank you. It's been challenging but rewarding,
Absolutely.
So it has been it's been a way that you look at things differently.
Right.
Just with young people in mind. I think with the pandemic, we are all thinking of adults. Sometimes us as adults, we can be so selfish. We just think the world revolves around adults.
Right.
You get this pandemic, and what all of us are doing virtually is really making us look at the young people and how the pandemic affects young people while going through a DV situation.
Right.
A lot of times we don't think of the children. So I'm just glad that our agency and our departments have children in mind, because they can't be left out. They just can't.
Of course. Of course. Thanks, Lamar. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Kim. Y'all are awesome.
Did you hear the ways that Lamar and his team are using art therapy and creativity and even dance? I'm sure Lamar did dance a little bit, but they're using all of those things to help remind the children that they're still children. The young people that we see in schools and who come to our summer institute, and the young people that our counselors work with, they're very clear about who they are. They are bold and unapologetic in their self-determination. There's a song that says, "The children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way." All we have to do is remember that the children are not just our future, they are our right now. And Lamar is right. We cannot leave them out. They're going to show us the way if we just let them do that. So we're going to hear from our client. And before we hear from our client, I want you to think about something. No two survivors experience the tactics of violence in the same way. And we know this because we know the stories and the experiences of our clients. There is no single story of violence. But when we have the opportunity to hear from a survivor, we need to take that opportunity and see it as an honor and a privilege, and receive it with a sense of gratitude. In this work, we focus on safety and confidentiality, and we know it's important to center our clients' voices. But even as we do that, we want to make sure that we're remembering how important it is for them to feel safe and to maintain their confidentiality. For the purposes of this event and for her protection, the name of our client has been changed and her image has been altered. Keep in mind, as she's talking, of all of the ways that violence happens: the physical, the sexual, the verbal, the emotional, the psychological, the use of technology, especially now in COVID. Hear her voice, hear her story.
Yeah, because sometimes the signs are not visible in terms of like a black eye. Right. Sometimes it could be the person's late to work a lot, or they're just not in the.
You got somebody holding you hostage in the house and won't let you go to work because he's afraid you're gonna leave, or he's threatening, if you don't come home, I'll be at your job. And that's what he did. He started sending stuff to my office just to get back at me. It was so humiliating.
Yeah, because sometimes the signs are not visible in terms of like a black eye. Like sometimes it could be the person's late to work a lot, or they're just not in the.
You got somebody holding you hostage in the house and won't let you go to work because he's afraid you're gonna leave, you know, or he's threatening if you don't come home, I'll be at your job. And that's what he did. He started sending stuff to my office just to get back at me. It was so humiliating. You know, my boss was involved with that. And I felt like I couldn't even tell him what was going on, you know? Having a roof over my head was important, but it wasn't important enough for me to stay. Stayed in my car for a few days, decided I didn't want to be there, and dialed into MSP. And I had the support over the telephone. It gave me a choice. I didn't have to be in the streets. I didn't have to be in my car. I thank God that I was here. Because if I would have been anywhere else, I don't know how I would have got through it. I'm so glad that I was here because I had to care. Even though I was on lockdown for more than 2 weeks. But it was a scary experience, but I had the best support, and I thank MSP. I really thank you guys, because each and every one of you for the last 17 days just knocked on the door, checked on me. There was food at the door, anything. I was told to call for anything, but I didn't need anything, because what I needed was just people to care and make sure that I was all right. That was enough. That was really enough for me. I didn't need for anything. I really believe that if I had been in that situation I got away from, it wouldn't have. I would have been in the streets, I think. When I think about it, I wouldn't have had that care, because it would have been more fear than anything. So,
like if you could sit down with someone that was in your shoes, or that is in your shoes right now, what is something that you would tell them?
You don't deserve it. Think about yourself. Think about what's important. How do you feel? How does it make you feel? Does this person make you feel good? Do you think you deserve this? You have to love yourself.
So, where do you see yourself in the future?
Loving myself. Taking care of me. I come first. I come first now. I used to put everybody else before myself. And no more. It's all about me. It sounds selfish, but that's what it is. And I'm learning to do that. And it feels good. It feels good. It took a long time to get here. Yes, at my age I'm starting over, but it feels good.
What more can we say other than thank you? The beauty of the human spirit. That's what we just saw. So thank you to everyone who joined us today. So here's what we know. We know that it takes an entire community to make this work possible. We can't do this on our own. And we know that so many of you have supported us for years, but in particular over the last few months. The work doesn't stop. You heard my coworkers say that over and over again. The work doesn't stop. And we know that you will continue to partner with us to help move our mission forward. Your ongoing support is so needed to keep us strong and to keep our doors virtually and physically open. See, COVID has separated us physically, but you can still gather with your networks, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your civic organization, your sororities and fraternities and religious communities. You all can come together to support MSP. See, we're on this journey together, and that's the only way that we can reach survivors and help them on their journey towards safety and freedom and to create a new pathway together. So as we close out our event today and as we close out Domestic Violence Awareness Month, please remember this. We will always be here for anyone who needs us. Right there is a link for you to stay connected to us. So click that link and continue to work with us. Remember, we do this together. On behalf of the entire My Sister's Place staff, our board of directors, all of our sponsors and supporters, I want to thank you for joining us today. And to my colleagues, my coworkers, my MSP family, on behalf of Karen Cheeks Lomax, our wonderful and amazing CEO, thank you for the work that you do. Now, before you leave and before you shut this link, we have one more video to share with you to say once again, thank you.
I just want to take this moment to say thank you for all your support and for everything you do for MSP and our clients. Without you, this would not be possible.
In a South African language, Xhosa, I say, Nkosi, and in Zulu, I say,
and our clients.
Ngiyabonga. Thank you.
On behalf of our shelter team, we want to say a big thank you to you for all that you do for MSP and our client.
Gracias por tus donaciones.
Your support means so much to us. We would not be able to do what we do without you.
Everything that we do at MSP is such a team effort, so we're really, really grateful. Thank you.
Obrigada pelo teu apoio. O seu apoio significa tudo para nós e para as pessoas que servimos. Obrigada.
Your support makes all the difference.
Thank you for being on the journey. Thank you for being a part of My Sister's Place and for loving and caring for us the way that you do. Gracias por todo. I'll see you soon.
you will hear directly from her, and you'll be able to witness the beauty of the human spirit when you hear her talk about her journey to that we have with the New York Giants, who are helping us work with student athletes in Westchester.
Hi, everyone.
I just want
And to my colleagues, my coworkers, my MSP family, on behalf of Karen Cheeks Lomax, our wonderful and amazing CEO, thank you for the work that you do. Now, before you leave and before you shut this,
I just want to take this moment to say thank you for all your support and for everything you do for MSP and our clients. Without you, this would not be possible.